What's going on, everyone? So, the Washington Wizards and the Los Angeles Lakers have been trade partners several times, right? Obviously, the Russell Westbrook trade. They also helped us in acquiring Rui Hachimura. And there is this ongoing thought process that the Wizards may be the team that most likely helps the Lakers out once again, right? Usually trade with teams that you've built a relationship, built a rapport with, and the Lakers and the Wizards have built that relationship. Plus, the Wizards have several pieces that the Lakers really need. Now, obviously, most of the conversation and headlines have been kind of centered around Jonas Valanciunas. Lakers need a center. He is a veteran center that could slot in, make a ton of sense for the Lakers in that backup role, even slot and start alongside Anthony Davis at times, especially with Anthony Davis being very adamant about how he wants to play more of the 4 this year. He's not saying I won't ever play the 5. He's just saying, like, instead of me playing 40 minutes a game at the center spot, can I, at least divvy it up a little bit here, right? So bringing in a guy like a Valanciunas that could slot in, I think could go a long way. Obviously, the Lakers brought in Christian Koloko, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, do we really need a center? Yes, we still need a center, right? We don't even know if Christian Koloko is going to be able to play this year. There was reports that came out, the Lakers are optimistic that they did a workout, an independent kind of workout to evaluate him. And the words that they used was they expect him to play this season. They didn't say at the start the season or anything. They said this season. That could be at any stretch. Also, he's on a 2-way, not on the main roster, right? Now, obviously, if the Lakers do pull off some type of move, you could always, if there's a roster spot that needs to be filled, he could always move up to the main roster. And there is kind of murmurs going around that eventually could potentially be the case, that you'll see Koloko kind of take that step into the main roster spot, and then he'd be a restricted free agent, and they'd be able to sign him to a longer-term deal next season and going forward. But we'll see, right? Regardless, even if you do bring in Koloko, right, do you think you need to bring in a Valanciunas? That's just me personally. I just think, even if it's not Valanciunas, it's some type of veteran-level center that you can trust, that you can count on, right? Koloko, I love the idea of him. I think he makes a lot of sense, but he's also a project. He was a project before all the medical issues, right? And now he hasn't played in a year and a half. I don't expect him to come in and all of a sudden be a 10-10 guy with like 3 blocks a game. It'd be great. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to put a cap on the kid, right? Like, I still think that that's real potential, but we got to see how this plays out, right? We got to see how this develops with him. I'd like that kind of safety net. So again, you got the Washington Wizards with a Jonas Valanciunas. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily stop there, right? You also have a Kyle Kuzma, right? Kyle Kuzma has even talked about the Lakers and how he believes that if he was still on the Lakers, they would still be contending for NBA championships. He is the kind of guy the Lakers need, right? That 3-and-D style wing that can come in, play a role, big, sizable forward that could play the 3, play the 4, defend multiple positions, play off of LeBron, play off AD. He has, the experience. He's won a championship with the Lakers. It's kind of funny that the Lakers traded several guys to get Russell Westbrook, and then since then have been searching for those type of guys. And, Kyle Kuzma kind of coming full circle. Right? Like, I don't think I would trade for Kuz just by himself. But if you can get multiple pieces, because again, I like Kyle Kuzma. Couple questions about Kuz. One, he's very inefficient, especially shooting the 3-ball. He has not shot the 3-ball well since being with Washington. Now, could that change playing again alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the attention that they create? Right? Big difference when you go from being the guy in Washington to like the third guy. Another big concern, though, is Kyle Kuzma open to going back and being the third guy? Right? Like, again, Kyle Kuzma makes a lot of sense. Also, another worth noting on the positive side is his contract decreases every year by like $2 million, right? Big difference, right? Difference between another vet minimum or not, or staying under the cap, right? So there is some value in that. But, again, like, he's even kind of taking shots at the idea of him playing third fiddle, right? But if Kyle Kuzma is willing to come in, buy into the role that would be asked of him, is willing to kind of come in and embrace that third guy, let LeBron and Anthony Davis be LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and then just be that, 15 to 20 point a night scorer with some consistency and lock down defensively and play some real defense and, play whatever role is asked of him, then yes, I do think that there's real value. But again, I wouldn't just trade for Kuzma. Kuzma and Valanciunas now, okay, now you're talking. But here's the thing. Those two combined are making like $33 million. So you're probably trading D'Lo and Rui, right? Which means you may have to find a third team unless they're willing to take Rui back, right? Maybe they would, because they could be like, we take Rui back, it's kind of free, and then we can look to trade him again to another team and maybe get a similar package that we were able to get in return for Rui from the Lakers. It's always a possibility. But again, just between Valanciunas and his $10 million, Kyle Kuzma making $23 million, right? Like you're talking, again, $33 million. Lakers got to go a little over. So you're probably, again, looking at D'Lo as well as Rui Hachimura. But hey, that's clean. $35 million to $33 million, maybe even throw in like a Jackson Hayes so you can bring in a Koloko, right? Now things starting to cook up here, right? I also don't mind the idea of Malcolm Brogdon. Because remember, Malcolm Brogdon is now on the Wizards. So Malcolm Brogdon gives you that point of attack 3-and-D sizable guard, right? Gives you a guy that Lakers really need at that guard position. Here's my problem, Malcolm Brogdon. Because a lot of you, I know, have brought up Malcolm Brogdon and have asked me, Tyler, what do you think of Malcolm Brogdon? And I've said, I'm not really sold on Malcolm Brogdon. And I'm still not, right? Because primarily, talk about injuries and the Lakers needing to stay healthy and all that stuff. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon is about as injury prone as they come. And that's a concern, right? And the bright side, though, is he's an expiring contract. And also, I don't like Malcolm Brogdon by himself. But if it's in a package, now I think we're talking, right? Like, because if you can basically get Malcolm Brogdon, Kyle Kuzma, and Jonas Valanciunas, you just solved all of the Lakers' problems. Right, you got your backup center, you got your sizable 3-and-D wing, and you got your 3-and-D guard that can be your point of attack. And when he's healthy, is excellent, right? He's a guy who will get you 20 plus a night. He can defend multiple positions, right? Like Malcolm Brogdon would be fantastic, right? I don't hate the idea of him at all. But again, I don't like him straight up. I don't like him by himself. Also, the other thing is you'd have to exceed salaries, and that could be a little tricky. It's not like insanely tricky, but Malcolm Brogdon is making $23 million. So you're talking, he's making 22.5, but again, Lakers have to go over, right? So talking 23 million plus 23 million, that's 46 million, plus Valanciunas, which would be 56 million. Now, again, the Lakers get there. I mean, just D'Lo and Rui Hachimura by themselves gives you 35 million. Right? So now you just need another like 30 million, right? Gabe Vincent, as well as the Lakers are interested in trading Jared Vanderbilt, right? So maybe trade Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent now. That could free up some minutes for Dalton Connect, especially if LeBron is going to play the 3 more, right? If Anthony Davis wants to move over and play the 4, right? Valanciunas gets some minutes at the starting spot, then again, you may end up needing or less of Rui and Vando and stuff like that, because again, you'd have Dalton Connect, you'd have LeBron James, have Kyle Kuzma. In a pinch, if you absolutely needed to, you could always shift over, Max Christie. If you keep Cam Reddish, you could do that. Problem is just getting to that salary price, right? Because you're talking, again, $56 million, and between Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and D'Angelo Russell, that gets you to basically $55 million. You throw in a vet minimum guy. There you go, right? So again, maybe you're throwing in a Jackson Hayes so you can bring in Koloko, right? So you're doing, basically what would that be, a 5-for-3 swap? Which, again, I don't hate, because again, you clear that extra salary spot, bring in Koloko, and now you're fine in your roster spot, because now you're doing essentially a 4-for-5 swap, right? And you only need 14 players. That put you at 14 players. So could you turn D'Lo, Rui, Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent with like a Cam Reddish or a Jackson Hayes into Malcolm Brogdon, Jonas Valanciunas, and Kyle Kuzma. Again, I don't hate that idea. I don't think that's the worst idea ever, right? I think you solved all your problems. I think you add those three to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Dalton Connect, right? Like, I think you're in good shape. You still have Christian Wood, right? Still keep Cam Reddish if you want to be that kind of Jared Vanderbilt type. If you just need that specialty defender guy, right? Again, I'm not like super thrilled trading for each guy individually, but to me, it'd be kind of the collection of parts. And I don't think you'd have to sell the first. Like, I don't think you'd have to give up both firsts, right? Because Kyle Kuzma, could you argue he's worth the first? Sure. But I don't like how many teams are giving a first for him, right? Valanciunas, you're definitely not giving a first for. And then Malcolm Brogdon, I don't think you give a first for. I think Malcolm Brogdon is a couple seconds, right? So, like, could you do something like a first and a pick swap, get all three guys, right? Could you do, a first in 3 seconds or something like that, 4 seconds, and get all three guys? I think that's a possibility. And now you're in a position where it's like, okay, like, I think you're a contender now. I think you're one of the better teams in the league now, right? Question is just health, right? Like, can Brogdon play enough games and Kyle Kuzma and stuff? Because they make perfect sense, right? Malcolm Brogdon would be a perfect kind of point of attack initiator, slotted alongside Austin Reeves, right? Playing off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Again, he just go get a bucket, right? Go get you 15 to 20 on any given night, right? Kyle Kuzma could do his thing. I don't hate the idea. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you like, yes, the Wizards, get on the phone with the Wizards, Brogdon, Kuzma, Valanciunas? Do you just want 2 of the 3? Do you just want 1 of them? Again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.